So in September 2015, I became aware of the refugee crisis, as it was, by seeing the picture of Alan Kurdi washed up on the Greek shores. And it kind of moved me to do something. So I started collecting aid in my home with the thought that I'd send it on one of the convoys out to Calais camp. On Facebook I started collecting stuff and friends became interested, and within a few weeks I had 2 houses full of aid and 30 people interested in coming out. So we decided that we would actually convoy out to France ourselves, and having researched about what people needed out there, we came up with the idea of creating aid boxes. So plastic boxes full of things that people would need when they turn up on a refugee camp with nothing.
My daughter had been to visit one of the camps, Calais she went to, and was so, I wouldn't say traumatised, but so shook up by what she'd seen, and I'd kind of not got involved with it because it was their thing up to that point, but then when I saw how upset she was, I figured I should come and have a look and see myself, so I could at least help her, when she's at home and stuff. So we turned up in Grand Synth camp in November 2015, and I was just staggered. I'd no idea what was going on in there, and I'd never seen anything like it, and the need was so desperate and so immediate that I just decided to stay and help.
When I heard about the free shop getting set up, which was just after I'd moved here, I basically came and started doing DIY and painting and just getting stuck in where I could, and then I've done bits and pieces of volunteering days wherever I could fit it in. So
we've been open for 5 months, and in that time we have had about 110 unique families and individuals who have come to use the hub to help set up their new homes.
We don't have anything in the house.
And the council let us down. We put the application for the white goods, and they said we can't help you, not for nothing at all. Then ABC, they help us with everything, I can say. Even when we came here, there was nothing to sleep. They gave us the duvet to sleep on because we can't sleep on the floor.
As much as you can see in my house, I think 90% from ABC. It's like when you enter the property and it's empty, and you don't know, when you don't have money and you don't see anything where it's going to come, and they came like an angel.
Well, we just rely on amazing funders, people who go out and do fundraisers for us. We do our own fundraising sessions, so for example this Christmas we'll be selling Christmas trees from here, as we did last year. That managed to pay for the rent. Our clothes sales that we do, so we make sure that virtually nothing goes to waste when it comes in here. So some of the clothes that we aren't able to distribute to refugees and asylum seekers, we'll hold clothes sales, which are a great income for us, and it means that the clothes are being recycled.
How reliant are you on sort of donations?
Completely reliant, completely reliant. We buy a few things, but it's really minimal. And we only really buy those things because they're quite essential. So we buy like washing up liquid and washing powder. But generally everything is donated from the public. So when we'll put out shouts for things that we particularly need, and then some things are we just always get a constant flow of clothes. We get a lot of bedding, we get a lot of sleeping bags that go out to France. But yeah, we wouldn't be able to do this without having donations all the time.
So part of the reason that this was set up was that having come back from the camps in France, I was hearing from a lot of refugees and asylum seekers who had got into the UK and became aware of the struggles that they face, because the asylum process I would call it torturous. Obviously a lot of people come and they have post-traumatic stress. They've had to leave family and friends, their home comforts. They're pretty in quite a bad state, and then they're placed in a country that they don't know the culture, they don't understand the language, and they're not allowed to work, they have no money, and the boredom and isolation actually drives people crazy. And it's really, really hard to see.
Without their help, it won't be possible.
Yeah, what they are doing for refugees, I don't think so. Nobody else is doing. Because we've been in London, it was like a very bad experience. There was kind of no support for refugees, and when you go for the signing process, they treat you like a criminal.
Yeah, Greece is a whole nother.
Yeah.
I mean, the huge amount of people in Greece with nowhere to go. ABC's funding Gavin Fraser, who's a volunteer that's been with us for a long time now, and he is going out there to help some small grassroots organisations out there to set up some sustainable workshops and training projects to actually skill up refugees out there, so that they're giving them just a little bit of hope rather than just all the time, you know, lining up and taking a blanket or taking some food from someone.
So I'm going to gathering up a load of tools. My old blacksmithing school is going to give me some blacksmithing gear. I've got a load of gear that I'm going to take out of my own. We're going to buy some tools with the charity I'm working with, which is called Respond. I've got some land and a workshop on Lesbos. So we're going to start by teaching a little bit of basic blacksmithing, welding, fabricating, general building. We've got a couple of builders on the crew. You know, I mean, depending on how well it's received and how much help we get, there's an incredible leather worker mate of mine who's going to come out. He's offered to come out and teach leather working. So we're kind of just trying and get some vocational stuff going, and hopefully, help provide a means of these people earning a bit of a living, and kind of getting a bit of their sort of self-respect and self-confidence back.
With the current state of affairs and the awareness of what's going on in France, especially Paris, where there's approximately 2,000 people on the streets that really literally have nothing, and a lot of the awareness and what's been on in the papers, etc., just doesn't exist anymore since the demolition of the jungle. There's not really been any coverage, so there's only been a sort of small band of groups that are continuing to get aid and supply aid. So it's basically all about teamwork. It's about the organisation still, keeping it going, keeping the awareness going that this situation, if anything, has not got better. It's got worse. But there isn't so much camps anymore. It's just mass homelessness on a scale that's just unimaginable. And we just really plead for people to get behind us and get collecting, and inshallah we get the aid and we can get it to the people that need it.
I think we need to put the kettle on. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's really lovely. Very nice, thank you.
Now is our time to give back to community and give back to the UK who gave us shelter.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling better at the moment, and I'm going through some medical, but I'm hoping I'm better and I will do something work. And we want to do some volunteer, and now I think this is the time to give back. They help us so much. United Kingdom gave us shelter to live, and the Bristol, the people, the ABC, Malcolm X, all people, they help us so much. So now is our time to give back. So we want to do some, because we've been to homeless situation, so I know how it's feel. So we want to help homeless people, feed them, do some volunteer work, to use ourselves for someone.